Hey guys, welcome back. This is gonna be a short one on ditch lights on the Toyota Tacoma, the 3rd gen Toyota Tacoma. So these are the Diode Dynamics SSC2. These are the sports, so these are gonna be the lowest output. And you'll notice on the bezel of the glass, these are going to be the floodlights. So you get the widest spread, lowest concentration. Kind of mirrors what I went with on these SS3s. These are the pros, these are the sports. So a real quick delving into of the why. I've got pretty good light up front, the OEM LED headlights, the SS3 Pro from Diode Dynamics with those flood lenses, as well as that 20-inch Raxium. That's a combination spot flood. So light up front is great. Light from those flood pods comes out pretty well near, I call it 45 off the side of the truck. But we've been out a few times in pitch black, way out on a trail, and we cannot see anything. And when I'm really racking the wheel to turn, I've got to take it really slow, really careful, and sometimes I'm turning more quickly or sharply than I can illuminate. So that's what made me, have the driving interest to look into some ditch lights. I'm running mine very far off to the side. You'll see a lot of folks point them straight on. If you just want more light to the front, straight on may work great. Everything that I kind of watched when I was researching the subject seemed to point more towards straight ahead or just very shallowly angled off to the side. That sounds great and all, but I've adjusted these 3 or 4 times through trial and error. And rather than go with what works for people that are selling products or making their own content, I've just got to go with what works for me. So the light that comes out of these pretty well shoulders up and abuts against the light that comes out of these guys down here. Being the sport version, the illumination is, it's listed, all the specific specs are on the site from Diode Dynamics, but it's not that great. It's plenty enough for what I need, since these guys would handle your high speed traveling in a straight or relatively straight line. These guys are pretty much for slow wheeling and sharp turning, and they do that fantastically. That said, if I could go back, I probably would spend the extra $70 for the pros, but that's just my 2 cents. I'm plenty happy with what I have, and I don't think it's worth my time and effort to change them out. But if you're looking, there is my 2 cents. With these guys, I went with the two diode versions as opposed to the 4s. So they are essentially 1/2 of this unit. I want it to be slim, I wanted it to be subtle, I want it to be as out of the way as possible. Again, you see how I build up the entirety of this truck. I don't really want to make it, any aspect of it, be some big statement piece. So they're about as low pro and out of the way as they can be. All the other specifics on the brackets, the basics of the light themselves, you can surely find elsewhere. This is just to give you my specific thoughts and opinions. So everything here is part of the Diode Dynamics SSC2 kit, and the only exception being the button to actuate them. So these are both from Cali Rays. They're backlit, illuminated. If I kick this on right now, it's wired direct, so the lights will illuminate straight off. Now, the biggest part of this video that it's probably going to draw most interest is what I'll do later tonight when I take it out on some narrow trails and show you how they illuminate. I'll show you them illuminating against all the other lights that you would likely have on, and I'll show you some of what they look like by themselves. So hopefully this video in its entirety answers all your questions you have. But they're slick units, they're great, they're worth the money. At time of recording, they're $290 plus tax plus shipping. That price may change by the time you view this video, and Diode Dynamics is always going to keep coming out with new products or amending their product line with higher luminosity outputs or more candela. But everything on here that illuminates is white light, and in a little bit I will get into some videos in the dark. All right, so here we are outside. It's a little bit dark now. Still got a good bit of lighting up in the sky, but this is just the headlights. That is the fog pods. If I go ahead down here and press that, that will be the light bar on and off. But if I need to take this turn to the left, I can't really see where I'm going. So if I apply the ditch lights, I get that good lateral lighting. As I said, light bar going off. So fog lights, they pretty well meet with where the ditch lights illuminate. So that would allow me to be able to see where I'm going over here, make this turn, and avoid any obstacles as I'm cutting that way, which is exceedingly useful. Again, just one more breakdown. Get this window up so I don't have any bugs flying in here. I ease forward. This is, so just headlights. Moving on to the fog pods. Not very impressive here, but they do a great job. The light bar for some punch. And then you won't really see the ditch lights when I kick them on because they are illuminating laterally. So I get a ton of light from those ditch lights right where I need it. And I'll give you one more alignment for better comparisons of all the various lights here in a sec. All right, so once again, headlights, fog pods, light bar, and then ditch lights. Also, you'll notice when you've got areas with a canopy, it's a lot easier to see those fog pods. Now, they look great in person, mind you, like I said in the beginning. You're basically at the mercy of being able to see what my camera can show. But if you're considering getting fog pods and you've got to take sharp left turns like we've got up ahead, or sharp right turns out in the dark, these things are really going to be exceedingly helpful in making it so that you can take these turns more safely. Like right now, I got a pretty good look at where I'm going right now. But if I illuminate like this, I can verify I'm not about to go into a pothole, roll over a log, anything like that. So, you know, I'm a huge fan. They do exactly what they're supposed to do. And thank you guys for watching. So one last closing thought that I realized I left out, and that's the lens selection. So when you buy this entire unit, you're gonna end up with this combination spot flood. I was excited about that. I thought it'd be the best of both worlds. However, in my experience, that single spotlight just looked like one flashlight going out to the side. It was bright. However, since it is so bright, it was contrasted against that fog, that flood pattern rather, that was illuminating around it. And it made it challenging to see that you actually had flood lighting. So that might meet some people's needs very well, especially if they're pointing theirs directly straight. But you've got quite a few options. I believe you have the DOT fogs, these floods, I believe dual spotlights, and the spot flood combo. So shop around, see what you like. I find myself preferring to have wide lighting patterns. And that is about it. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this was helpful.